Silence, full stand. The full court of the Federal Court of Australia is now in session. Please be seated.
Please call the sitting.
Announcement of the appointment of King's Counsel in and for the State of Queensland.
We understand that newly appointed King's Counsel are present and wish to announce their appointments.
Your Honours, I have the honour to announce that I have been appointed as King's Counsel in and for the State of Queensland, taking precedence after Mr Mitchell Batty, KC.
Thank you, Mr Maguire.
I have the honour to announce that I have been appointed King's Counsel in and for the State of Queensland, taking precedence after Mr Gregory Maguire, KC.
Thank you, Ms Gleesy.
I have the honour to announce that I have been appointed as King's Counsel in and for the State of Queensland, taking precedence next after Ms Carla Cleese, KC.
Thank you, Ms Rees.
I have the honour to announce that I've been appointed King's Counsel in and for the State of Queensland, taking precedence next after Ms Laura Rees, KC.
Thank you, Mr Alexander.
I have the honour to announce that I have been appointed King's Counsel in and for the State of Queensland, taking precedence next after Mr Michael Alexander, KC.
Thank you, Mr Macmillan.
I have the honour to announce that I have been appointed King's Counsel in and for the State of Queensland, taking precedence next after Mr Benjamin McMillan, KC.
Thank you, Mr O'Regan.
I have the honour to announce that I have been appointed King's Counsel in and for the State of Queensland, taking precedence after Mr James O'Regan, KC.
Thank you, Mr Trim.
I have the honour to announce that I've been appointed as King's Counsel in and for the State of Queensland, taking precedence next after Mr Michael Trim, KC.
Thank you, Ms Fitzgerald.
I have the honour to announce that I have been appointed as King's Counsel in and for the State of Queensland, taking precedence next after my learned friend Ms Fitzgerald of King's Counsel.
Thank you, Ms Ahern.
I have the honour to announce that I have been appointed King's Counsel in and for the State of Queensland, taking precedence next after Ms Philippa Ahern, KC.
Thank you, Mr Wilson.
I have the honour to announce that I have been appointed King's Counsel in and for the State of Queensland, taking precedence next after Mr Patrick Wilson, KC.
Thank you, Mr O'Brien.
I have the honour to announce that I have been appointed King's Counsel in and for the State of Queensland, taking precedent next after Mr Andrew O'Brien, KC.
Thank you, Ms Grant. Fellow judges of the Federal Court of Australia, judges of the Federal Circuit and Family Court of Australia, Divisions 1 and 2, registrars, the Chief Justice and judges of the Queensland Supreme Court, distinguished retired judges of the Federal Court of Australia, distinguished senior office holders of professional bodies representing lawyers in Australia and Queensland, our many other distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, On behalf of the Federal Court judges resident in Brisbane, I'm delighted to welcome you all here today to join us at today's sitting. I note the welcome addition on the bench of Justices McElwain and Van Dongen, who are visiting us from interstate. Today we join with you to celebrate the appointment of the 2025 King's Counsel, a position rich in history and tradition in this state and throughout the Commonwealth. We recognise the hard work and sacrifices you have made to earn this appointment and warmly congratulate you. We very much look forward to you appearing in the Commonwealth Courts, in your new roles, and through your advocacy contributing to the jurisprudence of federal law. Reflecting briefly on events in 2025, the community is experiencing emerging challenges, including grappling with such issues as everyone's favourite topic, generative artificial intelligence, transition to different energy sources and their regulation, and the increased use of digital currencies. The role of the legal profession and the courts in facing these new challenges is an important one. It is now your duty to lead the profession in facing those challenges insofar as they come before the courts, and we also hope that you will assist the judges in understanding and dealing with those issues. The Federal Court welcomes you as leaders in your fields of practice. We encourage you to not only set the standard for practice in your respective fields, but to foster the emerging members of the profession who will be looking to you as role models. You are entitled to be very proud of what you have achieved, and I have absolutely no doubt that that pride is shared by your family and friends. We will watch your ongoing careers in the law with great interest. Mr. Greg Maguire, you were admitted to the bar in 1986 and so celebrate 40 years as a barrister next year. After initially working as a state Crown prosecutor for 6 years, you commenced private practice in 1992 and have since specialised in criminal defence work. You're one of the most experienced criminal defence barristers practising at the Queensland Bar and have appeared in over 40 murder trials, most recently in a high-profile Cairns matter. You also regularly appear in regional centres throughout the state. You have a close affiliation with the Queensland Rugby League and act as chair of the judiciary. After living on your boat for a number of years, we understand that you and your wife have had a reverse sea change and are now bush regeneration devotees in Upper Brookfield. Ms. Carla Cleese, you've had a broad civil practice over your career at the private bar. Prior to being called to the bar in 2004, you were associate to the Honourable Rosalind Atkinson AO in the Supreme Court of Queensland, and subsequently employed at Blake Dawson Walden, which is now Ashurst, of course, for several years, during which time you were seconded to Law Right to establish the Homeless Persons Legal Clinic. Your first decade at the private bar largely involved matters in the fields of insolvency and defamation law, as well as administrative and discrimination law. Over the second decade, you've come to practice primarily in the native title jurisdiction, an area of practice where we are particularly familiar with your work. You're a member of the council team who acted for the Commonwealth in the recent decision of the High Court in Commonwealth and Unipingu in 2025. You are the Deputy Chair of the Bar Association of Queensland's Human Rights Committee, and you've also served on the Executive Committee of the Queensland branch of the International Commission of Jurists for over 2 decades. However, and I understand these are your own words, you identify your greatest accomplishment as occurring outside the law, namely the raising of your 3 incredible children with your husband, Russell. I understand you particularly acknowledge Russell's unwavering support and the sacrifices he has made to support you in your career. Ms. Laura Rees, you finished high school in Fremantle, Western Australia in 1995. You then came to Queensland for a year to work as associate to your uncle, Judge Hugh Botting, a judge of the District Court of Queensland. You saw your first jury trial in February 1996. You studied arts and law at the University of Western Australia, graduating in 2003. In 1999-2000, you spent a year on exchange to Aachen University in Germany. where you met your husband Per, who was on exchange from Sweden. In 2004, you again worked for Judge Botting as his associate. You completed the bar practice course in early 2005 and were admitted in December 2005, shortly after commencing work as a trainee legal officer in the criminal practice at Legal Aid Queensland. You signed the bar roll in January 2006. From 2008, you worked as an in-house barrister for Legal Aid, circuiting to many regional courts, including Mount Isa and Cape York. In 2017, you went to the private bar and since January 2019 have been at Holsbury's Chambers in the Inns of Court. You and Per have 2 children, Oscar finishing Year 9 at Brisbane State High, I understand, and Astrid finishing Year 6 at West End State School. I understand your mother Leslie travelled from Western Australia to be here with you at today's ceremony, representing your family. Welcome, Madam Leslie. Mr. Michael Alexander, you commenced practice as a solicitor in 2005 and after 3 months decided that the bar was where you wanted to be. You commenced practice at the bar in February 2006. Being called to the bar at you describe, I understand, as the ripe young age of 24, you consider it an honour and privilege to be able to assist and nurture the junior bar in terms of practice and lifestyle management, particularly in an area that requires dedication to human sensitivities as well as judicial excellence or legal excellence. You are regarded as a leader of the family law bar and have a wide-ranging commercial practice, including civil litigation, estate disputes, banking, insurance, and bankruptcy, insolvency. In addition to your professional practice, you regularly find yourself involved in colourful negotiations with your 3 children. I understand you've suffered a particularly unfortunate series of defeats by your daughter, in your own words, often involving costs. Get used to it, Mr. Alexander. I understand you enjoy coaching rugby and attempting to understand the intricacies of tech development and rhythmic gymnastics. It's an interesting thought, but anyway, we'll move on from there. I also understand you are an aspiring pilot and consider yourself an ordinary at best guitar player. Mr. Ben McMillan, you were called to the bar in 2006 after working as a prosecutor in the Office of the Commonwealth DPP and as an associate to the Honourable Margaret Wilson in the Supreme Court of Queensland. You have a national practice specialising in public and administrative law, employment law and workplace safety. You've also appeared in many royal commissions and public inquiries, including as counsel assisting. Some of your notable appointments include counsel assisting with Mr. Horton KC, the Queensland Parliamentary Inquiry into the Crime and Corruption Commission's involvement in the Logan City Council, counsel assisting the Queensland Parliamentary Inquiry into coal workers' pneumoconiosis, black lung disease, and acting for the State of Queensland and the Royal Commission into institutional responses to child sexual abuse. From 2022, you acted for the State of Queensland and the Chief Health Officer in various proceedings related to public health measures taken during the COVID-19 pandemic. You also undertake significant pro bono work, including in the areas of animal welfare, human rights and child protection. Outside the law, you are devoted to your family. Luke, your partner of 20 years, who is here today, I understand. Welcome, Luke. And Tim, your brother, for whom you've been a carer and guardian for many years. Mr. James O'Regan, you started your working life, they're 2 different things, in 1996 as an economist pondering interest rates at the Reserve Bank of Australia in Sydney. After 3 years, you saw the light and went to work as a solicitor with Blake Dawson Bolton again, bit of a theme here, again now Ashurst, in its competition law section, but still in Sydney. That resulted in your first real contact with the courts, in particular Federal Court, where proceedings under Part 4 of the Trade Practices Act, as it then was, were routinely decided. After reading for your BCL, University of Oxford in 2004-05, you moved back to your hometown of Brisbane. You were called to the Queensland Bar in 2007, where you've maintained a general commercial practice since. You also worked with Justice Downs when her honour was at the bar. Justice Downs informs me that you were exceptional to work with, and I know Her Honour is delighted by your appointment. Mr. Michael Trim, despite now being a proud Queenslander, you were born and raised in Adelaide in South Australia, starting your professional life as a research clerk in Barristers' Chambers and then as a clerk and barrister and solicitor with Phillips Fox in Adelaide from the mid-90s. Having met your Emma interstate in 1999, you moved to Queensland in January 2000. You continued to work with Phillips Fox as a solicitor in Brisbane, and I understand you are also grateful for your many mentors there, most significantly Alice and Hayley, whom you credit for significantly shaping your professional life. You and Emma then spent about 5 years in London in the early thousands, where you worked as a solicitor and solicitor advocate with Clyde & Co, and then Clifford Chance. You then worked with what you described as a fantastic team in the International Arbitration Group at Clifford Chance, a number of whom returned to Australia and have remained friends and colleagues. And you notably spent a number of years involved in disputes arising out of the construction of the then new Wembley Stadium, culminating in a trial over many months relating to the steelwork in the stadium. You returned to Brisbane in late 2008 and have been in what is now level 27 chambers since that time. You were very fortunate to have been mentored by many significant figures there, including Robert Bain KC, who was your senior master, I understand. Now Justice Shane Doyle, Glenn Newton KC, and many others. You are the lucky husband of Emma, the proud father of 3 sons, Hamish, Angus and Fergus, and fond of a good red wine, getting back onto the golf course and time on the Sunshine Coast working on the beach. Did I say working? I meant walking. Ms. Jane Fitzgerald, many say that a career in law was always on the cards for you. Growing up in the town of Kyogle in northern New South Wales, I'm told your parents would say that even as a child you would argue every point. You obtained a Bachelor of Business Accountancy and Bachelor of Laws from QUT in 1997. At varying times you also lived at Union College at UQ and were heavily involved in all that college life offered. Upon completing your degrees, you undertook your articles of clerkship at Dunhill, Madden, Butler. It's a blast from the past. After working at Minter Ellison and then Freehills, you left the law to pursue your first love, your acting career. This time taught you about the expanse of life beyond the law. It was whilst you were living in New York that you were introduced to the National Institute of Trial Advocacy, which is known as NITA, and a new world opened. You saw an opportunity to intertwine your legal and acting skills. You became an advocacy teacher with NITA and travelled the world teaching trial lawyers how to maximise their persuasive skills in the courtroom. The advent of the global financial crisis brought you back to Brisbane and to the private bar in 2009. After completing the bar practice course, you suggested that participants would benefit from the training that you offered when working with NITA in the US, and you've taught on every bar practice course in Queensland since. At the bar, you've served on the council since 2019 as a South East Queensland representative and have worked on various subcommittees. Coming back to Australia, you and your ever-supportive husband, Ben, have 2 sons, Archer and Alexander. I understand those men are the greatest joy of your life. I know you would also like to express your gratitude for all those who have generously provided their guidance and support along your journey. Your family, some of whom have joined you here today, and your friends and colleagues, all of whom have contributed in their special way to this special day. Ms. Philippa Ahern, you commenced practice at the bar in March 2010. Prior to that, you were an Associate to Justice Freiberg of the Supreme Court of Queensland in 2002 and 2003, and then a solicitor from 2004 to 2010. As counsel, you have appeared in a broad range of commercial proceedings in the state and federal courts. You are married to Barrister Philip Tucker, with whom you have one daughter, Phoebe, who is 9 years old. Not surprisingly, as the daughter of 2 barristers, she shows some promise as a debater, at least where questions at bedtime are concerned. You might also want to speak about the costs issue, which we raised before. That could be coming. Away from the law, I understand you are also a keen pianist. I'm told that your parents, Peter and Christina Hearn, are in attendance at today's ceremony, and they are both very excited, with good reason, about the news of your appointment as Silk. Welcome, Peter and Christine. You also worked with Justice Downs when her honour was at the bar. Justice Downs informs me that you are also brilliant to work with, and I know her honour is delighted with your appointment as Silk. Mr. Patrick Wilson, you went to school at Villanova College and then studied law at the University of Queensland. You commenced your articles of clerkship in 2002 with a small suburban law firm with an office at Wollongabba across from the old Railway Hotel. You've practiced primarily in criminal law since that time, initially as a solicitor and then as Crown Prosecutor with the Queensland DPP in both Cairns and Southport before coming to the private bar in 2010. That period was broken in 2006 by a year spent living and working in London, primarily for the Greenwich Council. Outside of court, your wife Odette is also a barrister, having been called to the bar this year, and you have 3 children, Henry, who's 8, Sydney, who's 3, and Frederick, who's 1. So it sounds like you have your hands full there, Mr. Wilson, but in a good way. Mr. Andrew O'Brien, you took what you describe as the usual path to the bar. You grew up in Bundaberg and moved to Brisbane to study at the University of Queensland. After university, you completed an associateship in the Queensland Court of Appeal before beginning practice as a solicitor. You were called to the bar in 2011. You have 3 children, a golden cocker spaniel, and I'm told a beehive, which I'm very interested in talking to you about afterwards. I understand you're now looking forward to taking it easier towards an early retirement as your wife Emily, who was also called to the bar last year, takes centre stage. Good luck with that. Ms. Claire Grant, you were called to the private bar in 2011. Over the past 14 years, you have developed a thriving criminal practice, appearing in over 100 jury trials throughout the state of Queensland. You're a proud member of 31 Sturt Chambers in Townsville and the North Queensland Bar, where you are committed to providing mentorship to junior barristers, solicitors and law students and contributing meaningfully to the local profession. You are the mother of 2 children, Bridget and Oliver, and are grateful to have them along with your mother, Dr. Jocelyn McKinnon, in attendance at the ceremonial sitting today. Welcome to you all. An important thread running through these short précis of remarkable careers is the support of their families enjoyed by each of these silks. Particularly at this time of year, it is apt that we reflect on and appreciate the roles our families have played and continue to play in our lives and our achievements. I now invite counsel at the bar table to move in order of seniority, commencing with the President of the Bar Association of Queensland, Ms. Kate Hayworth-Smith, who we welcome here today. Do you move, Ms. Kate Hayworth-Smith?
May it please the court.
Do you move, Mr. Maguire?
Do, Your Honour.
Do you move, Ms. Cleese?
I do, Your Honour.
Do you move, Ms. Rees?
I do, Your Honour.
Do you move, Mr. Alexander?
I do, Your Honour.
Do you move, Mr. McMillan?
I do, Your Honour.
Do you move, Mr. O'Regan?
I do, Your Honour.
Do you move, Mr. Trim?
I do, Your Honour.
Do you move, Ms. Fitzgerald?
I do, Your Honour.
Do you move, Ms. Ahern?
I do, Your Honour.
Do you move, Mr. Wilson?
I do, Your Honour.
Do you move, Mr. O'Brien?
I do, Your Honour.
Do you move, Ms. Grant? There being no motions at the bar, the court will now adjourn. We welcome everyone present to join us for morning tea, and I understand the court officer will give you the details of that. Court officer, please adjourn.
All stand. The full court of the Federal Court of Australia is now adjourned.